During the course of the Great Crusade, the Emperor of Mankind sought to abolish all forms of religion from his nascent imperium of man, and instead spread what was known as the imperial truth. It was said that the purpose of this doctrine was to unshackle humanity from the numerous primitive, nonsensical beliefs that held the species back, and to replace such myths with the truth of science, logic, and reason. Over time, however, various cults would begin to emerge that would venerate the Emperor as a god incarnate, thanks to the spread of a text penned by Lorgar, the primarch of the Word-Bearers, known as the Lectitio Divinitatis. Following the events of the Horus Heresy, and the Emperor's interment into the life support systems of the Golden Throne, the belief in the God Emperor's divinity would begin to grow so commonplace throughout imperial space that it would, over time, become legitimized and develop into a form that would become the state religion of the Imperium. This religion, now branded as the Imperial Cult, and overseen by the organization known as the Adeptus Ministorum, or Ecclesiarchy, is one of only two religions permitted to exist within the modern-day Imperium, with the other being the Cult Mechanicus, the religion of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Despite being the state religion of the Imperium, the Imperial Cult is surprisingly flexible with its interpretations, allowing many worlds to retain many of their unique cultural beliefs, providing that certain criteria are met in order to make it comply with the teachings of the Imperial Cult. These tenets are as follows: that despite having walked among mankind, the Emperor is and has always been a god, and that he is the one true god who holds a place for every human life within his order. For humanity to purge the heretic, despise the Xenos, and beware the mutant. And finally, to obey the authority of the imperial government without question. Yet, for all the Ministorum's efforts in bringing worlds into the fold of the imperial cult, there still exist many religions that, for lack of a better term, are nothing short of heretical. Some of these religious cults are dedicated to the Chaos Gods, while others may be focused upon the worship of the natural world or honoured ancestors. One such potentially heretical system of belief is demonstrated by the native tribes that inhabit the world of Necromunda, the Ratskins. The Ratskin people venerate the very hives that they call home as gods in their own right. To the Ratskins, the hive gods are both generous with their bounty and merciless in their vengeance, although some tribes have also been shown to worship a being known as Emperor, who is speculated by some to be the Ratskins' interpretation of the Emperor of Mankind. The shamans of the various Ratskin tribes also state that the Underhive is populated by numerous spirits, and it is these spirits that are said to grant a shaman his supernatural abilities. These spirits are said to congregate around vast stockpiles of ancient technology, and to imperial citizens, this technology is known more commonly as archaeotech. Archaeotech sites are considered to be sacred ground to the Ratskins, and the normally peaceful tribes will turn extremely hostile should anyone desecrate such locations. There might even be some truth to the Ratskins' claims, for as more sites of archaeotech fall under the protection of a Ratskin tribe, a Ratskin shaman is shown to be capable of manifesting a wider range of unique abilities. Since there does indeed appear to be a link between Underhive spirits and ancient technologies, then what exactly could these mysterious spirits be? One possibility, albeit a rather underwhelming one, is that there are no spirits within the depths of the Underhive, and that such beings are purely a part of Ratskin folklore. The Ratskins could potentially use such myths and fables about the spirits of the Underhive in order to try and comprehend and provide an explanation for the unusual abilities manifested by their shamans, who could, quite simply, be psykers of varying potency in their own right. Mutation is extremely common within the depths of Necromunda's Underhives, and as such, prolonged exposure to pollution and toxins could have altered the genetic sequences of the Ratskin tribes, allowing them to become more psychically sensitive. Perhaps prolonged exposure to the various chemicals, fungi, and herbs found within blind snake pouches, a good luck charm worn by many Ratskins, also aids in awakening the psychic potential of their shamans, as the mixture itself is known to temporarily enhance an individual's psychic sensitivity. While admittedly a feasible explanation, this fails to clarify as to why Ratskin shamans appear to demonstrate new abilities when more Archaeotech sites fall under their protection, although this in itself could merely be something akin to a placebo effect. In addition to this, the book Outlanders states that powers manifested by Ratskin shamans are something other than mere manifestations of psychic capability, suggesting a more esoteric origin for their abilities, such as sorcery. This does lead to the possibility that the spirits of the Underhive are a unique form of, for lack of better classification, demonic entity, similar to the spirits that are said to inhabit the world of Fenris. If the Ratskin shamans performed rituals to gain the favour of the spirits in a similar manner to those performed by the rune priests of the Space Wolves chapter, then this could potentially provide an explanation in regards to the source of a Ratskin shaman's powers. Another prospect in determining just what the spirits of the Underhive could potentially be is that these Underhive spirits are in fact something akin to machine spirits, due to the claims that these mysterious apparitions are said to be concentrated around sites of Archaeotech. Machine spirits are entities that, according to the tenets of the cult Mechanicus, inhabit each and every piece of technology created by mankind, and that only by appeasing a device's machine spirit will it operate with any semblance of reliability and efficiency. Some machine spirits even display their own distinctive personality traits and quirks, such as by being incredibly stubborn or highly aggressive. Despite their similarities, machine spirits are completely distinct from artificial, abominable intelligences, for the automated spirits that exist within machines, such as vehicles and battle automata, are said to be the result of blending organic and mechanical components within their construction. These machine spirits are said to be found only within technologies manufactured by humanity, and that one of the reasons for Xenos technology being deemed abhorrent to the Imperium is due to their lack of such a spirit. In addition, there have been several examples of technologies that, through an unknown process, demonstrate the presence of true souls. One notable example is demonstrated with the Gloriana-class battleship known as the Vengeful Spirit, as shown with the following passage from the story Extinction, which takes place shortly after the events of the Horus Heresy.
Her spirit is a tight, tiny essence in her inactive core, the only iota of sentience and life within the immense hulk. This soul, as true as any life despite its artificial genesis, slumbers in the infinite cold. She waits to be reawakened, but holds no hope it will ever happen. Her sons fled her decks, leaving her here to grow frigid and silver with ice crystals. So far from the light of the closest sun that the star is nothing but a pinprick in the night.
Another example is shown within the novel Titan Death, with the warlord Titan Luxor in Victoria, when the Titan's princeps Mohana Mankata V became the first person to permanently merge their consciousness with that of the Titan itself, moments before her physical form would perish before her soul dissipated into the warp.
A great song played. The loudest war horn she had ever heard blasted across the non-space of the warp, and foundry heat beat at her back. She opened her eyes to find herself surrounded by a golden light, and the creatures fled before it. Trembling, she turned. A vast being filled eternity. She had the impression of a human form, though the entity was too large for a mortal eye to encompass. Its blood and bones were grinding cogs, its thoughts living streams of plasma, its eyes and lenses the size of galaxies. An iron door appeared in the maze of machinery in front of her. She looked up, searching for a face, and saw a shining entity looking back down that turned from flesh to light to mechanism and back. Through the door radiated the familiar, plasmic warmth of Luxor and Victoria's reactor. She sensed its machine soul, more apparent to her now, not almost alive, but truly living by the grace of her machine god.
Because of this, it is entirely possible that these Underhive spirits that congregate around sites of Archaeotech could indeed be true souls that have been generated by such machinery, which remain somehow bound to their physical forms. The main problem with this possibility, however, is that Archaeotech itself dates back to the Dark Age of technology, and often prior to the event known as the Cybernetic Revolt, and the subsequent outlawing of artificial intelligences. It was as a result of the Cybernetic Revolt that humanity would begin to use organic components within its various technologies, most notably with the cyborg slave organisms known as servitors. These servitors are essentially lobotomized individuals that have been mechanically augmented to fulfill a specific task, such as having their arms replaced with a forklift mechanism for the purpose of transporting heavy goods. So instead, could these Archaeotech spirits be lingering remnants of various abominable intelligences that have somehow managed to remain active to a certain degree? It has certainly been documented that thinking machines have been encountered upon Necromunda numerous times, with one such incident being documented as recently as 631 M40. Duke Otto Van Saar XXI would discover an AI cogitator within the depths of Hive Primus, and would attempt to load the AI engrams into the house's secret standard template construct. It was only thanks to the timely intervention of the Duke's son and multiple gangs allied to House Van Saar that Otto's plot would be foiled and the Archaeotech would be reburied somewhere deep within the bowels of the Underhive. Another incident regarding thinking machines took place in 932 M38 within Hive Rothgol. A diminutive mechanical being known as the Cybernac would use the physical body of an Underhive ganger as a host as it sought to raise an army to launch an armed rebellion against the planetary governor of Necromunda, Lord Helmore. When the rebellion was put down by the noble houses of Rothgol, the Cybernac would be captured. While in captivity, the mechanoid was noted to be whispering about an ancient war and beings known as Kings of Iron, which is presumably a reference to the Cybernetic Revolt and humanity's war with the robotic constructs known as the Men of Iron, with the Cybernac itself heavily implied to be some kind of abominable intelligence or even a man of iron in its own right. As such, since the Ratskin tribes of Necromunda lead simpler and more primitive lives compared to the other denizens of the Underhive, then should they encounter any examples of abominable intelligence, the Ratskins could quite possibly have misinterpreted the true nature of these AIs by viewing them instead as being mysterious spirits that inhabit the Hive. These machines could even be the source of the supernatural abilities displayed by the Ratskin shamans in some way. Since abominable intelligences are truly sentient in nature, perhaps some of these AIs have learned to appreciate the revenant shown by the primitive Ratskin tribes. In turn, the AIs could potentially activate one of many Archaeotech devices, which could then grant the Ratskin shamans abilities that, at first glance, would resemble some type of magical power, when, in actuality, it is merely the result of a long-lost and misunderstood technological process. Whatever the truth of the matter, the Ratskin tribes of Necromunda will continue to worship and revere the spirits of the Underhive for centuries to come, whatever these spirits may truly be. What do you think? Leave a comment below, and thanks for watching.